Good morning. Today's date's January 31st, 2025. It's the morning docket of the Orange County Municipal Court. I'm Acting Judge Brian Cummings. First group of cases we're going to call are the review hearings. So when you hear your name called, come down to the front and to the table on your right.
Daniel Bryson, Jennifer Cooper, David Denoff, Roderick Lewis, Derek Newell, Matthew Smith, and Jeffrey Collins.
We have to scoot together. Everybody has to be seated. So scoot together, act like you like each other. Everybody has to be seated.
All right. This is State of Ohio versus Daniel E. Bryson, POD 21-2208 A and B. Mr. Bryson is present here this morning for review.
Yeah.
Mr. Bryson, on your, excuse me, there's also POD 193468. Still owe a balance of $575 on POD 21-2208. Looks like you've got all your community service done. At this point, you're down to $109. Looks like your last payment was on December 13th. You got a payment today?
Yes.
Okay, how much you planning on paying?
I'll pay the 49 to get it, just to get it to the right number, so we can get it done. I mean,
All right. I'm going to set you a new review date. For March 7th. For
March
review-
7th.
March 7th for review at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. State of Ohio versus Jennifer Cooper, CRB 23506. Ms. Cooper is present here and this matter is set for review.
Here's the certificate. I'll make a copy of it for the file.
Okay, perfect. Well, I was just handing an update report from RRS and I saw a completion certificate. Ms. Cooper, that's fantastic news. I have a feeling that without reading this, that this is a fantastic report.
Thank you.
Looks like you've done some community service since your last, we were last here. You're down to $580 left on this case. And
Yes.
that's it?
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some of it with community service.
I was gonna
Where I
say-
just paid for that driving class, I'm a little short right now.
You can certainly work off most of that on community service. So.
Okay.
I'm going to set you as well for March 7th for review at 9 a.m. Congratulations on the completion and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. State of Ohio versus David Denoff.
Yes, sir.
This is case number TRD 1915-17. Mr. Denoff is present via Zoom. Sir, are you Mr. Denoff on Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. On my end, it just shows the iPhone, so. See here, you made a payment on December 24th You're down to $250 left, but you've done none of your community service. When do you plan on getting your community service accomplished?
I've just been having to tell Tom, we just have one vehicle right now, so.
Okay, well, you know, part of it is you're ordered to do it, and there's tough times or not. You know, everybody goes through some things, but you got to get your community service done. So I'm going to set you back here on March 7th for review at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And I expect you to have some community service completed by then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, see you back on March 7th. Thank you. State of Ohio versus Roger Keith Lewis. Roger Keith Lewis. All right, Mr. Lewis was called for this morning. He decided to be here at 9 a.m., time's now 9:51. He has failed to appear via cadence to issue. Derek M. Newell. State of Ohio versus Derek M. Newell, PRC 22-1229. Mr. Newell, I don't see you've got any new community service done, but looks like you paid, and you haven't paid anything since November the 5th.
Yes, sir.
You got a payment today?
It'd be Friday when I get paid. I'm trying to put 100 down. How much is my balance left?
Your balance, it was originally $710 with 30 hours of community service.
Yeah.
You've done 6 hours of community service and you paid $100 on this, and that's it. This is
Okay.
a.
I'll probably put more than that down. I'll probably try to get 200 if I can.
Okay. You need to start getting your community service in as well.
Well, can I ask, I live in Point Pleasant now. I moved from the place I was at in Huntington. And am I able to do community service in Point Pleasant? Like, is there certain places I can go or, you know?
We don't have anything that we know of, but you'll need to find a nonprofit organization, have it verified by me or Mr. Cooper before you do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we have no problem with you doing it there so long as those conditions are met and it's approved by
Yes, sir.
probation. I'll set you back on March 7th for review at 9 a.m. And I'm going to expect there to be some community service
Sure.
completed by then.
Yes, sir.
You can also work off parts of your fine as well once you complete your balance. Of
Yeah, got you.
community
Yes,
service.
sir.
We'll see you back on March 7th.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Matthew Smith.
Yes, sir.
State of Ohio versus Matthew R. Smith. CRB 21692, CRB 15457, CRB 14553, CRB 14665, and PRC 12627. All right. Looks like you've been making regular payments, Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
I mean, everything that you're paying is going towards the older case, the oldest case. You have a payment today, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir, I do. Pay 20 today.
All right, I'll set you back for March 7th for review at 9 a.m. And you don't have any community service yet, court, but if you want to start working some of this off on community service, it'll save you a bunch of money.
Yeah, I was just talking to Cornell about that.
All right,
Okay,
see you back
thank you.
March 7th.
All right, buddy.
And State of Ohio versus Jeffrey S. Collins, PRD 1521 A and B. Mr. Collins is present via Zoom as well. And this is, we've got PRD 241521, CRA 191304, CRA, or TRD 19-1082, and CRB 15606. Mr. Collins, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir, I heard it.
Thank you. All right, looks like you made a payment today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Looks like you've still got, you got significant balances on your cases, but I'm not seeing any community service left. So if you want to start working some of that off, Mr. Collins, it'll save you some money.
Yeah, I hope that we ever have money here within a month, pay all that off, get this over with.
Okay, well, I'm going to set you back for March 7th for review at 9 a.m.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Brian Crawford, Joseph Easter, Holly Elkins, Dana Howard, Brittany Jones, Kathy Knight, and Derek Lockhart.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Brian Crawford, CRB 24330. Mr. Crawford is present here in court. My understanding is you're treating with RRS.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Thomas White.
Just been handed an update report. For the good report.
Thank you.
All right. Well, while you are treating, you still have the original balances on all of the cases, but more importantly, I want to make sure that your recovery is first. So I'm very happy with the report. So I'm going to set you back for another review on March 7th,
9 a.m., Your Honor?
9 o'clock.
No, okay, thank you.
No problem, and we'll see you then. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. State of Ohio versus Joseph Easter, CRB 24300. Mr. Easter is present here in court. And Mr. Easter, looks like you've done some community service. You've still got 24 hours left, and you've made some payments. You're down to $135. So if you knock that out, you won't have to come back. I'm going to go a little further out on yours since you're making good progress. And hopefully by then you can just have it done. If you've got everything done and it's cleared through Mr. Major or Mr. Cooper, you will not need to appear for the review. Let's do May 23rd. For review at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. State of Ohio versus Holly Elkins. It's the State of Ohio versus Holly Elkins, CRB 24387, A and B, CRB 23342, and CRA 04179. Looks like you've done some community service, and you've, on your oldest case, all your community service is now completed.
Yes, sir.
You owe $91.50 on that. So once you've got that paid, then that case will be closed. You worked off your community service as well on 342, and you owe $270, and then all your community services worked on the other case, and you owe $375. So if you wish, you could work most of that off on community service now that community service is complete, which, as I've said repeatedly, will save you money. So you're doing a very good job. I'm going to set this for review. April 11th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. At 9 a.m. Dana Howard. Dana Howard. This is State of Ohio versus Dana Howard, CRB 24-235. Ms. Howard has been called for and is not present. Time is now 10:01 a.m. She decided to be in court at 9 a.m. via capious issue. Brittany Jones. Brittany Jones. State of Ohio versus Brittany M. Jones, CRB 24-452 A and B. Time is 10:01 a.m. Ms. Jones has failed to appear after being called for. Decided to be here at 9 a.m. Capious issue. Kathy Knight. The State of Ohio versus Kathy Knight, CRB 24-147 A and B. Ms. Knight is present here in court today. I was just handed an update report from Bethesda Services. Okay. Well, overall, it's a pretty good report, Ms. Knight. However, it does appear that the treatment provider believes that your home returning may not be a good, stable environment for your recovery. Indicated that they've had several meetings with you and you're reluctant to seek other housing. I can't force you to seek other housing, but I can tell you, it looks like you've made an incredible amount of progress from where you were on this case originally. And if you go back to that unstable environment, you're far more likely to relapse back into your old behaviors and then end up right back here. So I would caution you that your treatment provider knows what they're doing. That's what they do. You may want to listen to them on that. You only owe $180 left on the case plus your treatment. All right, I'm going to set you a review. Any idea when her expected completion date would be?
I have spoke with Philip about some things that we need to get in progress for her to be able to safely transition home. I mean, in 30 more days, I think that we can make some type of headway, hopefully.
Okay.
Make sure everything is good.
Let's go to March 28th.
March 28th.
March 28th, 9 a.m. for review.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Derek Lockhart. Yes, sir. So State of Ohio versus Derek Lockhart, CRB 24-414, CRB 24-314. Lockhart is present. Gotten 12-hour community service done since the last time we were here. You've got, on the 313 case, you've got 12 hours left and $150. And on the other case, you still got 30 hours community service and 240, but you're making progress.
I'm sure.
So I'm going to set you for March 28th for review at 9 a.m.
March
28th, sir, sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Shayna Lockhart, Justin Nose, Agnes Sexton, Brittany Smith, Randy Woods, James Adams, Corey Smoot.
Shanna Lockhart.
Your Honor, I have not seen her here today, but she is compliant with her treatment at OVP outpatient.
This is State of Ohio versus Shanna D. Lockhart, CRB 24516, TRB 23776, CRA 16575, CRB 16576, and CRB 14298. Ms. Lockhart is not present here this morning. However, our treatment provider is handed a good report, and that she is compliant in her treatment. So what I will do on this is I'm going to, based upon failure to appear, I'm going to issue a KPS, but I'm going to hold for 7 days. So that way if she appears, she
Yeah, we
doesn't
can
get-
reach out to her as well and let her know to get in here.
That way if she shows up Monday, it was a mistake, she doesn't get arrested since she's compliant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. State of Ohio versus Justin Nose. Is it Nose?
Nose.
Nose. TRC 24100 AMB. Looks like you've done community service since your last hearing. You finished your community service. You've got $1,100 left on the case. Broken record, but you can start working it off on community service if you want. Save yourself a lot of money. But you're making progress, which is what we want. So I'm going to set you back on.
I also have a completion record for the DIP program. I was
Okay.
unaware if you have it.
Yes, I've got the file. I'm going to set you back for March 28th for review at 9 a.m. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agnes Sexton. The State of Ohio versus Agnes Sexton, CRA 24209, CRB 24210, CRB 2349, A and B, and CRB 22740.
I'll be sick there.
All right, Ms. Sexton, it's overall it's a pretty good report. It's still a mixed bag. Your attendance doesn't appear to be very good, and I'm not talking about the doctor's excuse that you had. That's understandable. But it appears that your attendance has been a little sporadic, so I'm going to caution you at this point that you need to be at your appointments. Like,
Yes, sir.
I understand the doctor's excuse, I'm not harping on that.
Yes,
But it's other sporadic attendance. You're ordered to do this.
Yes, sir.
You're ordered to treat. You gotta be there,
okay.
all right?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna set you back a little bit sooner. March 7th
Okay.
at 9 a.m. for you. Brittany Smith,
Thank you.
thank you.
Come on.
You may approach. State of Ohio versus Brittany Smith, CRB 24171. Ms. Smith is not present this morning. She was informed by her treatment provider that there may have been some car issues and that she's on her way. So we will pass this for a bit and recall it later in the meeting. Randy Woods, the State of Ohio versus Randy Woods, CRB 24381, DO 6222. All right, Ms. Woods, you're making good progress. You've got all of your community service done on the old case, which was a significant amount. You're down to $331 owed there. You made a payment in December, and on your newer case, you still owe 30 hours and $275, but you're making good progress.
I just need a little bit more time, I'll get it taken care of.
When you're making progress, we have no problem with giving you more time.
Thank you.
And you've done such a good job that I'm going to set you back a little bit later. Let's do April 25th for review at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
James Adams. James Adams. State of Ohio versus James Adams, PRC 23765, A, B, and C. Mr. Adams has been called for. Time is now 10:12. Cited here at 9 a.m. Failed to appear, KB is issued. State of Ohio versus Corey Smoot, PRC 241544, A and B. Mr. Smoot is present here today. He's done 12 hours of community service since his last hearing, paid off all his fines. You're down to 18 hours of community service. Looks like you've completed your VIP school as ordered. So I'm also, Mr. Smoot, going to set you back in at the end of April for April 25th for review at 9 a.m.
I've only done 12 hours. I thought I'd done more than that.
Note I have in here is 12 hours as of yesterday, so it looks like you owe 18 left. You've got 3 days. Get those 3 days done by before that date, for the April 25th date. Verify it with Mr. Cooper and Mr. Major, and your case will be closed. You will not have to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. All right. Next grouping of cases that we're going to call are arraignments. It's your first appearances when you hear your name called. Come down the table on the right. I will go through the charge with you, and then I'm going to ask you for one of 3 pleas. It will either be, you can enter pleas of guilty, not guilty, or no contest. Guilty means you are admitting the violation. Not guilty means you are not admitting the violation. And no contest means you're not admitting the violation, but you're not contesting the facts surrounding that violation. And if I think the state has enough evidence, I can enter a guilty finding on that. If you are in doubt of what you should do, you should enter a not guilty plea. It preserves all your rights before the court. Your rights before the court, you have the right to remain silent. We are recording everything in here today, and if you say something, whether it be to me, aloud, or to the prosecutor, that can be used against you as it's being recorded. You have the right to reasonable bail. You have the right to have the state, force the state to prove each and every element of the offense charged beyond a reasonable doubt. And go ahead and call the first case.
State of Ohio versus David Moore, TRC 25135, A and B.
This is State of Ohio versus David W. Moore, TRC 25135, A and B. Mr. Mayor, it's alleged that on or about January 25th, 2025 in Fayette Township, that you were operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drug abuse. That's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 4511.19A1A as a misdemeanor in the first degree. Maximum penalty on that is up to 180 days in jail, $1,075 fine, up to a 3-year license suspension. And the minimum penalties on that is either 3 days in jail or 3 days at a driver intervention program, $375 fine, and 6-month license suspension. It's also alleged that you were speeding, doing 72 miles per hour and 55 mile per hour zone. It's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 4511.21B1. That's a minor misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on that is $150 fine. How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
All right, I will accept your not guilty plea. Do you wish to be considered for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you currently working?
No, sir.
All right. I will find that you're indigent under Ohio law. I'm going to appoint Attorney Roger Smith to represent you. I will let you sign a $1,000 signature bond. And Mr. Smith, how far out would you like to go on the pretrial?
We could go about, say, 3 weeks, just give me a chance to file discovery. I've got some availability. Could we do the 21st of February or the 3rd of March?
We can do the 21st.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to set a pretrial for February 21st. Pretrial at 10 a.m.
State of Ohio versus Gary Calico, TRD 2589 A&B.
This is State of Ohio versus Gary Calico, 2589 A&B. Looks like this matter was set for January 28th. And there's an alleged failure to appear, so you admitted tonight you failed to appear for that hearing.
There was some confusion with the ticket and the actual date. I was unaware that the court actually held it on Tuesdays, not on just the Mondays and Fridays. And then on the ticket, it was also checked in the box, personal appearance required, no. But it does state at the top, it was contradictory. I have the ticket, and then the ticket, the reason for the appearance was for the failure to reinstate. I was unaware of fines that I still had with the BMV. I went immediately the next day after the incident and paid my fines up, and I have the paperwork here to show that as well.
Okay. I'm going to take a look at that real quick. Well, let's go over your ticket here first. So
I'm sorry.
We still got to do the arraignment on your ticket here, but
You're fine.
We'll kind of talk through some of that here in just a second. So it's alleged on or about January 16, 2025 in Mason Township that you were operating a motor vehicle after failing to reinstate your driver's license, violation of Ohio Revised Code 4510.12. Unclassified misdemeanor, the maximum penalty on that is a $1,000 fine and up to 500 hours of community service. It's also alleged that you were in an accident, failed to control your vehicle.
Yes, sir.
It's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 4511.202. That's a minor misdemeanor, and the maximum penalty on that is a $150 fine and court costs. Now, you've already, before I take a plea on that, you've already kind of given me the paperwork that shows you You reinstate it immediately. Actually, do you need this back?
I do not.
Okay, we'll keep it in the file then. I'm going to, this is a traffic court matter, so I'm going to dismiss the driver's license offense since you got it taken care of immediately. And on the failure to control, how do you plead?
I'll plead guilty.
I will accept your guilty plea. I'm going to enter a guilty finding, and it'll be a $20 fine, and I will be paid the court costs.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And you'll call any outstanding on that. See if there's.
State of Ohio versus Clarence Carter, TRD 25-149 A and B.
Clarence Carter. So State of Ohio versus Clarence Carter, TRD 25-149 A and B. Mr. Carter has been called for today. The time is now 10:21 a.m. Cited to be in court at 9 a.m. He has failed to appear. The case is issued.
State of Ohio versus Michael Henson, TRC 2578.
So the State of Ohio versus Michael Henson, TRC 2578. Mr. Henson looks like was cited to be in court originally on January 21st, 25. Looks like it's alleged he failed to appear for that hearing. Do you admit or deny you failed to appear for that hearing?
Yes, I apologize for that. I was in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas at a recovery place.
Okay. I will order the KBS to be recalled and we'll do your arraignment. Mr. Henson, it's alleged that on or about on or about January 11, 2025 in Fayette Township, you were operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drug abuse. It's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 4511.19A1A. Maximum penalty on that is up to 6 months in jail, $1,075 fine, and up to 3-year license suspension. Minimum penalty on that is either 3 days in jail or 3 days at the driver intervention program, $375 fine, and 6-month license suspension. How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
I'll accept your not guilty plea. Do you wish to be considered for court-appointed counsel?
Yes, please.
All right. Are you working?
Yes.
All right. Are you paid hourly?
Yes.
What? How much do you make per hour?
Yeah, $32 an hour. $32.52.
And how? Do you get 40 hours a week?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Do you have any dependents?
Yes.
How many?
1.
Okay. You're not going to qualify for court-appointed counsel. You make too much money.
Okay.
So I'm going to find that you're not indigent and can afford counsel. I'll give you time to get counsel.
Okay.
How long do you think you would need?
Do you have a list or anything? I don't know. I'm mainly from Kentucky, so I don't know many people around here.
Well, I would say see a whole bunch of attorneys floating around here today. You're welcome to approach and talk to, but I don't have a specific list for you. The internet also.
Okay, I think I found one.
The internet also, you could look up and look around and see if you can find an attorney who might be interested in making an appointment. What I'll do is I'll give you some time. I'm going to set a pretrial in this matter for February 21st. And I'm going to let you sign a signature bond of $1,000. pretrial will be at 10 a.m. Once you hire an attorney, if they need to move that, we have no problem with that, but keep in contact with them to know whether that is going to be moved or not. If you do not hire an attorney, you still need to appear here that day,
On the 21st?
on the 21st.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. See you back on the 21st.
All right, thank you.
State of Ohio versus Bobby Black, CRB 2556.
No. All right, this is State of Ohio versus Bobby Black, CRB 2556. Mr. Black, it's alleged that on or about January 27th, 2025, that you did known cause or attempt to cause physical harm to a Cameron T. Hass. That's an alleged violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 290313A. That's assault. It's a misdemeanor of first degree. Maximum penalty on that is up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. How do you wish to plead?
Plead not guilty.
I will accept your not guilty plea. Do you wish to be considered for appointed counsel?
No.
You don't want to be considered for a lawyer, or are you going to hire your own?
Oh, no, yeah, I have to have a lawyer on this, yeah.
Okay, are you working?
No, I ain't worked for 2 months.
All right, I'll find that you're indigent under Ohio law. I will appoint attorney Luke Steyer to represent you.
Your Honor, I currently represent Mr. Hass in a different matter, so I have a conflict on this case.
I will appoint attorney Tyler Smith to represent you. Looks like you've posted a bond with Mr. Sowers. I'll continue your bond. Mr. Hield, is there any issues with the protection order in this matter? And there's a companion case that is going to be called next, I believe.
Well, it might be a good idea to find out what the other individual, whether he wants a protection order also.
Right. Well, let's go ahead then and we'll call the companion case up as well and do that arraignment, and then we'll sort that out. So just hang tight right there, Mr. Black.
State of Ohio versus Amy Tickner, CRB 2555.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Amy Tickner, CRB 2555. Mr. Tickner, it's alleged, well, before we go down this road, this is a different alleged victim, Mr. Hield, so.
It is, but, yeah, she's also, her name comes up in this, in Mr. Black's narrative, so I don't know if.
Let's just go ahead and arraign them together then. Ms. Tickner, it's alleged on or about January 27, 2025, you did known cause or attempt to cause physical harm to Brooklyn Stevens, a violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 290313A, assault. That's a misdemeanor of the first degree. The maximum penalty in this is up to 6 months in jail and $1,000 fine. How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
I'll accept your not guilty plea. Looks like you were bonded by Mr. Sowers, so I'll continue the bond. Do you wish to be considered for appointed counsel?
Yes.
All right, are you working currently?
No.
All right, I'll find your indigent under Ohio law, and I'll appoint attorney Roger Smith to represent you in this matter. And now we've got both issues of protection orders, Mr. Hield.
Well, since they aren't, it just appeared to me maybe there were going to be more than just these two even. But we would ask for protection orders in both of the cases.
Okay. Don't know the relationship there in this matter. I'll ask Mr. Smith and Mr. Smith's collectively here, whether there's an issue with, I don't know the relationships, I don't know if this is a family situation, non-family situation, for purposes of protection.
They were asking for protection order from Mr. Haas.
She's requesting one.
You don't have an issue? No. Okay. As far as Mr. Black, he doesn't live with the victim in this case, the alleged victim, so I don't think there's be an issue to stay away.
Okay, is that the same on this picture?
They're not cross files.
Oh.
Different victims.
We're okay, yeah, okay. I thought it was a crossfire.
No.
We're okay, Jeff.
Well, I just wanted to make sure this
Yes.
picture didn't live in the home.
I misunderstood, I thought they were crossfire.
No.
No.
All right, so there'll be protection orders issued in both cases. Ms. Tickner, you're going to be ordered to stay away from Brooklyn Stevens, and Mr. Black, you're going to be ordered to stay away from Mr. Haas. Means you can't have any contact whatsoever, whether it be through text messaging, social media, anything like that. Can't have any contact. If they message you, this does not go both ways. If they message you, you cannot respond to them. So I just want to make that clear. I'm going to set both of these matters for pretrial. February 21st.
I'm here, Judge, yes.
At 10 a.m., so long as that's good with the county. Mr. Thomas Smith.
That's fine. Make sure she's going to make copies. I'll give you a copy of that page. I'll just sign it. And then I'll come out and talk to you in a minute. Your next hearing is February 21st here. Yeah.
State of Ohio versus Aaron Cron, CRA 19-288.
This is State of Ohio versus Aaron Cron, CRA 19-288. Mr. Cron, it looks like you may have failed to appear for a review hearing.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you have good excuses?
Yeah, I couldn't get out of my holler, all the ice and snow.
Was right at that
And
time.
then I just forgot about it. And then I remembered today, so I left work and come here.
Okay. I will order the warrant to be recalled.
And I'm also gonna pay $20 on my fine.
Looks like you've paid $596, all your community service is completed, and you have a balance of $973.50. If you want to stop coming back, you can start working some of that off in community service.
Yeah, I might do that. I have to work this weekend though, so I can't do it this weekend.
All right. I am going to set you back fairly quick, though. We'll set you back for February 24th. For review at 9 a.m.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Brittany Farley, CRB 11-153.
This is State of Ohio versus Brittany Farley, CRB 11-153. Ms. Farley is present here this morning, but also looks like you may have failed to appear for a review hearing. Do you admit or deny that you failed to appear?
Yes, Your Honor, I thought it was for today, and it was last week. So, when I, figured that out, I called and they told me to come in this Friday.
All right, I will call the bench warrant in this matter. You haven't done any community service, but it looks like you're down to $70 left to pay.
Yeah, so the community service, I live in Huntington, but, I did call here to ask, like, what do you do for community service here? Because I did it, this is 2011, issue, but long story short, is there any way to do it, I know it's Ohio, but in Huntington?
It's got to be a nonprofit and it has to be cleared through probation.
Your Honor, did you call me yesterday?
Yeah, that was me.
Are you on confinement over there?
Oh, well, that wasn't me then.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But I did call yesterday, just to ask, they said you have to be here like by 7, I believe?
7:30.
7:30, okay, so, I would have to take a bus. And I mean, I can come over here, it would just be, I work day shift and, I mean, I can, if one of the days I'm not working, it would be 8:30 when the bus comes.
We certainly don't have any issue with you doing community service over there, but again, it's got to be a nonprofit.
Okay.
And it has to be cleared through probation. So once you
Which
find
is
them,
him.
Mr. Cooper or Mr. Major, is she treating an ODP?
She successfully completed our inpatient program on January the 3rd, and she's doing mental health treatment with our outpatient office.
Okay, that's great news. We have a completion certificate.
Yes, we do. Do you want-
Copy of that for the file?
Do you want to make a copy of it, Josh?
All right. I'm going to set you back for a review on March 28th
What time?
at 9 a.m. Congratulations on your completion. That's exceptional.
Yes,
And,
thank you.
see you back on March 28th.
Okay.
Be fine. We're going to do 2 pre-trials here, and then we're going to do some jail arrangements.
State of Ohio versus Christopher Dawson.
This is State of Ohio versus Christopher Dawson, PRC 242138, A, B, C, D, and E. Mr. Dawson is present. His attorney, Tyler Smith, state's represented by Attorney Philip Heald. This matter is set for a pre-trial.
Your Honor, this is one that was put on today. I was hoping to have a chance to go over all the discovery with my client. Unfortunately, the video for this one I don't have. So I've talked to Ms. Dufour, and I believe that she's already sent it to me. So I'll have to reschedule so I can actually review it and go over with my client. So we just need to get a new date.
How far out do you want to get?
I think we just set one on the ring. I just had the 21st, so I'll be here then.
Okay. We'll set this for February 21st for pre-trial at 10 a.m. at defendant's request.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll be in touch as soon as
State of Ohio versus Brianna Sparks, CRB 2528.
Your Honor, this one I don't think, Ms. Sparks had a holder out of Sauter County, it was Rule 4, and she also had a theft charge here in Lawrence County. An OR bond was set, but I assume that she's now up in Sauter County, that's why she's not here today.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Brianna Sparks, CRB 2528. Mr. Smith is present on behalf of his client. Ms. Sparks is not here. State's represented by Attorney Philip Heald. Counsel has indicated that Ms. Sparks had a holder out of Sauter County, and that's likely. There was an OR bond set. I didn't know she was in jail. There was an OR bond set at the arraignment, which was 10 days ago. So she may be inside the county. Mr. Keel, any input?
Your Honor, we had anticipated that because we knew she had a holder from Scioto County, that she may not be here today. However, we don't know whether she's in their custody or for some other reason. We want her back when she's done with Scioto County, so we'd ask for a bench warrant.
Be a bench warrant issue in this matter for the failure to appeal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Well, we're going to continue some pre-trials then. Some pre-trials. Jail's not ready yet.
State of Ohio versus Michael Simpkins, TRC 2537 A and B.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Michael Simpkins, TRC 2537 A and B. Mr. Simpkins is present with his attorney, Mr. Haskamp. State's represented by attorney Phil Keel. Better set for pre-trial.
Good morning, Your Honor. We've had some discussions with the state on this case, and I think we've reached a resolution.
Okay.
We would be entering a no contest plea if the court would accept to the OVI with a dismissal of the balance of charges.
Mr. Gill?
And that's what we would request as well, Your Honor. We're willing to dismiss the secondary charge, which was open container, upon the plea to the OVI.
Okay. Mr. Simpkins, is that your intention to enter a no contest plea to the OVI case?
Yes.
All right. I will accept your no contest plea. Is there a stipulation to finding the guilt in that, or is it just a straight no contest and you want me to?
We'll stipulate, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll find based on the stipulation of the guilty finding. And the B case, at the request of the state, will be acknowledged. All right, is there a recommended sentence in this matter?
Your Honor, this is a first offense. There was a refusal, so to what extent the court takes that into consideration in sentencing, we would defer. Our request would be for a suspended jail sentence on the condition that Mr. Simpkins attend the DIP program. We'll take no position on the fine. We'd ask for a 6-month driver's license suspension back to the date of January the 8th, and that would replace the administrative suspension that was in place because of the refusal. And 2 years probation.
Okay. Mr. Haskamp?
That was our understanding as well, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Simpkins, anything you wish to tell me prior to sentencing?
No, sir.
All right. I'll order, Mr. Simpkins, I'll order you to do 20 days in jail. I will suspend those 20 days on the condition that you do the 3-day DIP school.
Yes.
Mr. Haskamp, I presume you'd rather do the 3-day DIP school than...
That's correct, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. Suspended to the 3-day DIP school. I'm going to give you a little bit of a higher fine because it was refusal, so there'll be a $600 fine. I'll order you to pay the court costs. There'll be a 6-month license suspension, and I'll date that back to, I believe it was January the 8th. We will remove the administrative suspension on that, and I'll order you to do 2 years level 4 probation and 30 hours of community service.
Your Honor, I'd just like to state for the record too, my client has a West Virginia license, just so that's made note on the record. So the suspension here will, for his driving inside the state of Ohio, and just so the court's aware.
Thank you. All right. Anything else on this matter, gentlemen?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Simpkins. I need to set your review date. We have a review date out.
This is the first.
All right. You got a review hearing for August 1st at 9 a.m. If you have everything completed and that's been verified through probation, then you will not need to appeal for that hearing. You'll need to see probation before you leave, and if you have anything you wish to take care of as far as with the clerk. You also need to see the clerk, but feel free to go after you do the probation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We're going to do some arraignments at the jail.
State of Ohio versus Philip Kazad.
All right. Mr. Kazad, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
All right, I'm going to go over some things with you. We're going to do an arraignment on your charge. That's the first appearance. I'm going to go through your charges with you, and if they're non-felony, I will ask you for a plea. You can, in any non-felony, you can enter pleas of guilty, not guilty, or no contest. Not guilty means you're denying the violation. Guilty means you're admitting the allegations, and no contest means you're not admitting the allegations, but you're not contesting them either. You have the right to remain silent in this. We are recording this, and you have the right to have counsel appointed if you cannot afford one yourself. You have the right.
I need one.
We'll talk about that in a second. You have the right to bail, and you have the right to force the state to prove each and every element of the charged offenses beyond a reasonable doubt. Have you received a copy of your charges?
Yeah, I only got one of these charges.
Well,
Hang
on. We're going to go through them first, and then we'll discuss it after that. All right. This is State of Ohio versus Philip Kazad, CRB 2554. Mr. Kazad, it's alleged that on or about January 29th, I presume that's supposed to be 2025, Mr. Gill. Looks like there may be a typo. I don't think.
It's not 20,245.
Yeah,
Yes, it's 2025. We'd move to amend that, Your Honor.
All right, I'll find that there's been a scrivener's error and that has been, and I'll allow it to be amended to January 29, 2025. That you did recklessly or by force resist or interfere with a lawful arrest of yourself, and in the course of or as a result of the resistance or interference caused physical harm to a law enforcement officer. That's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 2921.33B. Okay, Mr. Kazad, stop talking. I will ask you when I want you to speak. Again, all of this is being recorded, so if you say something that is against your interest, the state can use it against you. We'll get through this, but just answer the questions as they're asked and listen when I'm talking, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is resisting arrest. That's a misdemeanor of the first degree. Maximum penalty on that is up to 6 months in jail, $1,000 fine. It's also alleged that this is case number CRA 2553A, that on or about January 29th, 2025, you did knowingly cause or attempt to cause physical harm to Corporal S. Orsbon, and the victim of the offense is a peace officer or an investigator of the Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation. While in the performance of the officer's investigator's official duties, it's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 2903.13 AC 5A, that is assault on a peace officer, felony of the fourth degree. Felonies of the fourth degree carry a maximum penalty of up to 18 months in prison and a $5,000 fine. And then case number CRA 2553B, Mr. Kazad, it's alleged that on or about January 29th, 2025 in Fayette Township, that you did knowingly cause or attempt to cause physical harm to Sergeant Pennington, and the victim of the offense is a peace officer or investigator of the Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation in their official duties, in the performance of their official duties, violation of Ohio Revised Code 2903.13 AC 5A, assault on a peace officer. It's also a felony of the fourth degree. The maximum penalty of which is up to 18 months in prison and $5,000 fine. Now, since you have felonies, Mr. Kazad, I cannot take a plea from you on this, but you indicated that you wish to be considered for appointing counsel. Are you working presently?
No, I'm not. I was looking for a job before all this happened.
All right, I'm going to find that you are indigent under Ohio law. I will appoint Attorney Luke Steyer to represent you.
Am I allowed to say something?
It'd be better if you didn't, sir.
So what I'm going to do, Mr. Heald, you wish to be heard on bond.
Your Honor, the state would request a $5,000 cash assurance.
All right, I'm going to set bond presently at $5,000 cash or surety at the state's request. Mr. Kazad, Mr. Steyer will likely be reaching out to you at the jail here shortly. He's going to discuss bond with you and some different things, and if he wishes to have it recalled today on that matter, we will recall you later in the docket and can address the matter of bond at that time.
Can I speak to the prosecutor by chance?
It's much better if you speak to me. I'm your attorney. What you say to me can't be used against you. What you say to the prosecutor can. What I say to the prosecutor can't be used against you. So if you speak through me, you're better protected. So I'm going to step out here. I'll call you in a couple minutes, and we'll figure out where things are. When are you looking at setting this, though, Your Honor? Because I'm not going to be here next Friday. I'm going to be at a CLE in Louisville.
I wasn't even defend my rights at all.
So sir, this is not the time to have that conversation. Wait till I give you a call, and I will listen to you. But you're on for everyone right now. You don't want to have that conversation on the record.
And Mr. Steyer, there's also a misdemeanor charge here that I have not arraigned him on.
We waive reading of that and enter not guilty plea.
Okay, it's a theft misdemeanor of first degree. All right, so I will also appoint you on that case as well. Mr. Steyer, do you want to?
The only issue, again, Your Honor, is I'm not going to be here next Friday, so in order to get this done, I'm not sure if we can get this done within the 10-day limit if he's in jail.
If I can give you an opportunity to speak with him to see, this may be an issue that can be resolved.
Oh, that'd be fine. Let me speak to him, see if we can figure out the bond situation.
Okay, I would say otherwise, if you wish, I can appoint someone.
I don't necessarily want to do that. I just want to bring that to the court's attention.
Okay. What I will do then is I presume we're going to recall this, so I won't say.
Yeah, we'll recall it.
We'll just recall this here a little bit later in the docket, and we'll set the date at that time for any until the meeting. Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Belinda Fuller.
All right, next case is State of Ohio versus Belinda Fuller, CRB 24624, CRB 21753. This matter is Mr. Stratton's case. Ms. Fuller is present via Zoom in the Lawrence County Jail. State's represented by Attorney Phil Heald. This matter is looks like this matter is set today for, is it
It's bond revocation, Your Honor.
bond revocation? All right.
Yeah, if I may, Your Honor, Monday I had the Sheriff's Department or law enforcement to arrest her. She was causing problems at the Fed.
Okay.
And I revoked her bond.
All right. Mr. Stratton, I don't know if you're familiar, if you've...
Well, she was, of course, supposed to go to Bethesda on Monday. I just saw her on the docket, so I didn't realize there was a problem. May we approach?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's have the docket Monday. I'll give you an opportunity to look and see where we go from there. Because I can probably come back on Monday. It's inside there. The actual office is inside there. It's actually not far from your office. It's your office. It's in the high school. It's there. So, but maybe they have some resources. So I don't. Okay. After a brief bench council, we're going to set these matters for Monday, February 3rd, for bond revocation when Judge Kapler's back. Defendant's request, we'll set these for February 3rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Tim.
State of Ohio versus Gerald Gardner, TRD 24412.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Gerald A. Garner, TRD 24412. Mr. Garner is present via Zoom. Mr. Garner, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Looks like, Mr. Garner, you failed to appear for a couple of arraignments in this matter.
Yes, sir, that's my fault. The address on my ID I moved from, that's where the paperwork was sent. Nothing being refused for it, it's 100% my fault.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and do your arraignment here on this matter. I'll recall any caveats if there is. Mr. Garner, it's alleged that on or about March 2nd, 2024, in Perry Township, that you operated a motor vehicle on a suspended driver's license. It's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 4510.12. That is an unclassified misdemeanor. The maximum penalty that you could have faced on that was a $1,000 fine and up to 500 hours of community service. You can enter pleas of guilty, not guilty, or no contest on this matter. Guilty means you're admitting the violation. Not guilty means you're denying the violation. You're not entitled to an appointed counsel on the particular violation itself because you couldn't have lost your liberty absent failing to appear. Or you can enter a no contest plea, which means you're not admitting the violation, but you're not contesting it either. How do you wish to plead?
I really wish I had an attorney, I really don't. This is-
Well, it's not jail. When I can tell you this, if you were to enter a guilty or a no contest plea, I'm going to give you, on the failure to appear, I'm going to give you, how many days have you done in jail?
I've been here since, I got here technically Wednesday morning. I got arrested Tuesday night.
Okay.
I've been in jail since Wednesday.
So since Wednesday, so I'd give you 3 days in jail, 3 days credit, and then you're looking at a fine and some court costs is all you're looking at on the ticket. Now, if you wish to contest the ticket, that's certainly your right, and we could set you a trial on it. But as far as you've kind of already admitted to the failure to appear, so you're going home today either way. You're getting out. The only question is how you want to handle the ticket.
That I plead not guilty for now.
Yes, absolutely. I will accept your not guilty plea, and I will set you a traffic trial. I'm going to set you back on traffic court date. All right, so. All right, on the contempt, I'll give you 3 days jail. I'll give you credit for all 3 days that you served, or you released today. I'm setting you a trial on your ticket on February 11th, 2025 at 4 p.m. here at the court. Okay? So I will see you then. In the event that you do not appear for that, there will be another capias to issue, and eventually they'll pick you up, and then you can actually spend more time in jail on something that you couldn't even go to jail for. So if you would make sure you're here, you'll be able to resolve it and not have to go back to jail. Okay?
Yes, sir. I have a question, though.
Yes, sir.
Is the suspended license from the speeding ticket that I got in the county over, Scioto County, is there any way I can get a certificate that I served 3 days in jail here, take that license? I'm trying to, my license is still going to be suspended until I take care of what happened in Scioto County.
Sure.
I'm not mistaken.
Well, you will get an entry. Court will have an entry, and I'll have them fax it down to the jail for you that shows that on failure here you get 3 days jail. In the event that you decide on the day of the traffic trial that you wish to change your plea, typically what I do on that, or if you already have your license back when you come in for that, then
That's the main thing I want is my license.
I would give you far less of a penalty if you can get your license back, and I certainly have no problem giving you time to do so. Okay?
Okay, so should I just contact Scioto County?
You would need to clear up your licensing issue in Scioto County and then probably reinstate your license through B&B.
Okay.
Okay? All right, I'll see you back on February 11th at 4 p.m. Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Michael Roberts, CRA 2552.
All right, Mr. Roberts, can you hear me? All right, this is State of Ohio versus Michael Roberts, CRA 2552. Mr. Roberts, did you receive a copy of your charge?
Yes, I did.
All right. Mr. Roberts, it's alleged that on or about January 30th, 2025, you did with purpose to deprive Walmart, the owner of property or services, that you knowingly obtained or exerted control over said property or services, to wit, $1,386.05 in miscellaneous merchandise without the consent of Walmart, the owner, and the value of the property being $1,000 or more but less than $7,500. That's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 2913-02A1. That's theft. It's a felony of the 5th degree. Felonies of the 5th degree carry a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in prison and a $2,500 fine. Do you wish to be considered for appointed counsel? Are you currently working?
I am serving to the side job.
Okay. Do you get paid by the job or do you get paid hourly?
By the job.
All right. How much would you say that you did you pay taxes for the last year?
Yes, at the end of the year.
Okay. Do you recall how much you made during that year?
Yeah, I think.
All right. Well, sounds like your employment's not particularly steady, so I'm going to find that you are indigent. I will appoint Attorney Roger Smith to represent you. All right, Mr. Hill, do you wish to be heard on bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would request a $2,500 cash assurance.
All right, I'm going to set bond at $2,500 cash or surety for now. Mr. Roberts, Mr. Smith is going to call you at the jail, and he's going to talk to you about the bond. And I would imagine Mr. Smith's going to want this recalled.
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to set a preliminary hearing yet because I'm going to wait for this to be recalled, so we'll recall this a little later in the docket. And at that time, we will readdress bond potentially and set a preliminary hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Can I borrow the court's file?
You may.
The State of Ohio versus Jason Yates, CRA 2538A and B.
Judge,
This is the State of Ohio versus Jason Yates, CRA 2538A and B. Mr. Yates is present via Zoom, represented today by his attorney Roger Smith, state represented by attorney Philip Heald. This matter looks like it's set for a preliminary hearing this morning.
That's correct, Judge. In speaking with the arresting officer, Perry Atkins, and confirming with Carl Bowen, there is a probation violation. They have a hold on him. He's waiting to go to in front of one of the common pleas judges, so I understand the state's going to nollie this and proceed directly to the grand jury, so there will be no hearing today.
Is that correct, Mr. Heald?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Based upon the state's motion, then this matter will be nollied to the grand jury. All further proceedings will be in the common pleas court in the event that there is an indictment. Thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Philip Kazad.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Philip Kazad, CRB 24-815, CRB 25-53A and B, CRB 25-54. That's Mr. Kazad.
Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I've had an opportunity to speak by phone with Mr. Kazad. What we'd like to, he doesn't believe he could make a cash or surety bond at any figure. The amount of money he thinks he can come up with is not going to be sufficient to obtain a cash or surety bond. So with that in mind, I've discussed the matter with the state. We're going to ask to reset this matter for Monday, at which time the state would entertain the possibility of an OR bond to treatment if that were to be found to be appropriate. In the meantime, Hometown Recovery is going to sometime later today or by Monday is going to speak to Mr. Kazad at the jail see if he is appropriate for treatment, and we maybe come in here Monday with a plan.
Okay. Is that correct, Ms. Lewis? All right.
I have something I also wanted to add, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill?
Well, Mr. Kazak in court here just back in December with a breaking and entering charge, and that case was sent to the grand jury. And I don't know whether it's been indicted yet or not, but I know that when he was arrested on these charges, there was a lot of discussion in the narrative about a warrant. So he's got some other warrant, or at least he did. And he also has this other charge that is headed to the grand jury. So if it's not already been there.
Can I say something real fast, Your Honor?
Mr. Steyer?
It's probably better that you not. As I've explained to you, everything you're saying is being recorded and can be used against you, but it is your right to speak if you choose to.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and, let's go ahead and just set this for Monday as a preliminary hearing. And in the meantime, that may give Mr. Hill time to suss out exactly what the warrant is, and this may be academic, but this may help be able to resolve that warrant as well, so.
I don't see anything in the common police court.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to set this for February 3rd at 10 a.m. for a preliminary hearing.
Prosecutor at all?
Again, I'm going to warn you that is not in your best interest. However, again, you have the right to do whatever you want.
So if you wish to, Mr. Kazad, you've been cautioned against doing so, but if you so wish, it's certainly your right.
How do I go about doing that?
Just
I'm here.
He's right there.
I can give you somebody bigger than me.
Well, you probably, again, want to have that, discussion with your attorney, and
I was told I need to speak to the prosecutor about it, and that's all I can do.
And again, you know what, I've given him the caution I can give. That's all I can.
Well, Mr. Kazad, you talk to your lawyer, and if there's something that he thinks can be helpful to you, he'll let me know.
That was from the prosecutor, Mr. Kazan.
Okay.
So the prosecutor is even telling you to speak to
While
your
I'm
lawyer.
up here, I just want to throw out in court that the officers that arrested me also threatened my mother. They did not give me my rights. They punched me in my stomach, for God's sake. I understand I'm under oath, so I cannot lie.
Well, you're not under oath. I've not sworn you in, but you are being recorded.
I am not a liar. I may be a criminal, I am not a liar.
Well, that's not anything that I can deal with here today. And
Police brutality.
you can have that conversation with your attorney, and as everyone has told you need to do, and we'll go from there. But you're going to be reset for February 3rd at 10 a.m.
I'm going to take the file back, Your Honor, and choose a copy.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to have one more recall to jail, but it's not ready just yet, so we're going to go ahead and proceed back to the pre-trials.
Ohio versus Angel Gurul, CRA 24616.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Angel Gurul, CRA 24616. Looks like this may be in arraignment. It is. Okay. All right, Mr. Gurul, it's alleged that on or about September 11th, 2024, you did by force, stealth, deception, trespass in an occupied structure or temporary habitation of any person when any person other than an accomplice of the offender is present or likely to be present. That's a violation of Ohio Revised Code 2911.12b. Burglary, a felony of the fourth degree. Felonies of the fourth degree carry a maximum penalty of up to 18 months in prison and a $5,000 fine. Do you wish to be considered for appointed counsel in this matter?
Yes, please.
Okay, are you presently working?
Yes.
All right, are you paid hourly?
Yes.
What do you make per hour?
25, but I have 4 dependents.
Do you typically get 40 hours a week?
Yes.
You said you had 4 dependents?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you come in just under the amount that you can make. So I will appoint Attorney Sean Stratton to represent you.
Yes, John.
How's it going?
Mr. Hill, bond?
Post the bond.
Since he has appeared on his own, we will not be opposed to an OR bond, Your Honor.
I will do a $2,500 OR bond in this matter. And Mr. Stratton, would you like to have a preliminary hearing scheduled?
Your Honor, we could either do it Monday or next Friday.
No. We'll set this for preliminary hearing February 7th. At 10 a.m.
All right.
And anything else on this?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks.
See you back, Mr. Rule, on February 7th at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're back to the trial.
State of Ohio versus Ashley Shaw, CRB 2532.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Ashley Shaw, CRB 2532. This is Mr. McDonald's case. Ms. Shaw's present, the state's represented by attorney for the appeal. Madam Secretary, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hill?
Your Honor, this is a cross-filing situation with Ms. Shaw's daughter, who's a juvenile. And I have done some checking in the juvenile court to find out from that perspective what's going on. I've also gotten some information from Mr. McDonald that is helpful to us. We're aware of the fact that Ms. Shaw has quite a busy life parenting with children in the home, maybe that have some disabilities and whatnot. And that this is a situation in which we're not really certain at this point to what extent we have an unruly child that became just impossible to deal with, and to what extent maybe Ms. Shaw had some responsibility too. Given everything that we know at this point, we're willing to give her the benefit of the doubt with the understanding that I'm still looking into it. But at this point, what we would want to do is move this case out a little bit if they are willing to waive time. And this could and probably will turn into a 90-day continuous type situation. And it may be that at some point, if they haven't already discussed the idea of family counseling in the juvenile court case, I don't know if that's been discussed already, maybe something like that to help reunification, that we would want to follow suit with that. So we'd like to just move it out a little bit, and if there is a recommendation in the meantime from the juvenile court about some sort of counseling for either or both of you, we'd like for that to be followed in this case too.
Okay. Was there a protection order issued in this?
There was, Your Honor.
Mr. Gill, thoughts on that if we're talking family counseling?
Yeah. Is the child home now?
The child is currently placed with her biological father while everything shakes out.
What I would hate to see if there's a protection order and then there's and there's a recommendation at some point for family counseling, and we're violating the protection order by trying to work with the other court.
And I don't know whether there's anything in the juvenile court that's already set up for visitation or anything like that. Are you to have any contact with your daughter at this point through the juvenile court?
No, I haven't spoken to anyone.
So I don't know what the orders are there.
Okay. Yeah, it presents the problem where we're dealing with two courts here, and that there could be delay on both sides when they're based upon the protection order.
I think what I'd like to do is have us check with our office to see what they can tell us.
Okay.
Could you message Alice? Is Alice there? And ask her about it. So we could have it recalled, or if you want to
Okay.
wait.
Let's recall this in just a few minutes and get some answer on that. That way, we've got some clarity going forward, because I would hate to see the juvenile court say, hey, yeah, we want to do some family counseling here, and then we're 60 days, coming back in 60 days here, that causes, some undue delay there. So if we can get an answer on that, that may be helpful, and if not, then it can stay in effect. The state can always approach to have that modified or removed if, in the meantime. We'll recall this in just a few seconds, a few minutes, you want to have a seat back in the back.
State of Ohio versus Amber Goodall, CRB 24566.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Amber Goodall, CRB 24566. Attorney Roger Smith here on behalf of Ms. Goodall. Ms. Goodall not appeared today. The state's represented by Attorney Philip.
Yes, Judge, this is the one we spoke about in chambers, and we've had a couple pre-trials, and she had emergency, she couldn't be here. We've asked to set it for bench trial. I've left the order blank as to the date because we're just so far apart. I think there's no other way to resolve it other than a bench trial.
Okay. Mr. Hill, is that correct?
Where is she today? Yeah, if that's the only way it can be resolved. We've made an offer to settle it, but apparently it's being rejected. So we're okay to set this for a trial.
How far out, gentlemen, would you like to look at setting this? It looks like in February, there is at least 1 to 2 trials every court date, other than the 18th, which is the Tuesday, and the 24th, which the 24th is probably the best day.
I'm actually in a trial down the road, March 3rd work. It's about a month out.
March 3rd would be acceptable. Does that work for the state?
Yes, sir.
Approach on.
You may. This matter will be set for March the 3rd for a bench trial.
State of Ohio versus Teresa Patton, CRB 18485.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Teresa Patton, CRB 18485. Ms. Patton's present for Attorney Roger Smith. State's represented by Attorney Philip Field. This matter is set for a pretrial this morning. You may. Obtaining a report from OVP Health. Looks like it's a very good report.
Yes, Your Honor, she completes and she is continuing to sober living, I believe today.
I spoke with Mr. Heald, and We would be opposed to come back one more time to make sure she completes Monday. We can go back a week as far as I'm concerned, because we should know definitely. I don't anticipate she won't complete, but just to make sure. I'm here the 7th or the 10th, Judge, of February. Whichever's better for the court.
Looks like the 10th is better. Let's set this for February 10th. All right, see you back at 10 a.m. on February 10th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus John Pennington.
The State of Ohio versus John Pennington, CRA 24664, PRD 241610, PRD 241884. Attorney Roger Smith is here on behalf of Mr. Pennington. Mr. Pennington has not appeared, and state's represented by Attorney Phil Keel. It looks like Mr. Pennington was treating at RRS.
He is, Judge. May I approach? I've got some information. I was updated by RRS.
No. Based upon the report, I'm not going to issue a warrant for the failure to appear. And I'm going to reset this matter. I don't want to go too far out.
Judge, I'm here the 7th, 10th, 14th, or 21st of February.
We'll do the 10th.
I can do that.
At 10 a.m. for a preliminary hearing and pretrial.
Okay.
And I'll order that Mr. Pennington provide documentation of those issues. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
State of Ohio versus Robert Slaughter.
State of Ohio versus Robert L. Slaughter, CRB 24692 A and B, CRB 24346 A and B. Mr. Slaughter's present with his attorney Roger Smith, state's represented by Attorney Phil Keel. Matter set for pretrial on all charges.
Kimberly. This is on Kimberly. This is Kimberly. Robert Slaughter is Kimberly. Yes. No issues.
This is an incident from October. It was set out on a 90-day continuance. We're here today, and the state is reporting to me, as is my client, there have been no further issues, problems. This was his daughter, and it's not going to happen again.
Mr. Hill?
Well, he was also going to Mahajan for some anger management treatment, and that was part of the condition too of the dismissal was completion of that.
We could, if we want to kick it out, he's still at Mahajan, and I don't know if we have a graduation date or he will ever graduate, one of those situations, but I can update the court with a report from Mahajan if you want to come back.
He did say he wanted 6 sessions with me, so he said it'd be like mid-April, towards the end of April before.
Maybe mid or.
We will set this out.
If we could, Judge, that way we won't have to come back again. It sounds like the part with the alleged incidents have been taken care of, but he's still treating.
Mr. Hill, you good with going out towards the end of April on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I do know, Judge, the 28th, that whole week, I've got a trial in front of Judge Ballard, but I have some availability before the 28th.
Why don't we do the 18th?
Yes.
I presume there'll be a time waiver?
Yes, Judge, and if Mr. Hill will print that, I'll sign it.
I'll find when time's been waived. This matter will be set for pretrial at 9 a.m. April 18th.
Okay.
Got that date, 18th at 10?
Yep.
April 18th at 10 o'clock. All right. Yeah, if you get done sooner, get it to me.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Thomas White, CRB 25-9.
The State of Ohio versus Thomas White, CRB 25-9. Mr. White is present here in court with his attorney Roger Smith. State's represented by Attorney Clerk. Matter set for a pretrial.
Your Honor, this was a case that I was recently appointed to. I spoke to Mr. Hill. This is our first pretrial. We're not able to resolve it today. I will file discovery, ask if we can come back and have another pretrial. Hopefully, we will either have it resolved or, if necessary, set it for a trial, but I think we can get something resolved.
All right, how far out do you want to go?
Judge, I filed discovery today. We could go any of those February dates, 7, 10, 14, or 21.
Mr. Smith, are you available the 24th by chance?
How's
your trial?
Yeah, I'm on trial 24th and 25th.
About the 28th.
I would have to be late. I've got a hearing. It's going to be, might be lengthy in Cabell County. It starts at 9. I hate to say I can be here.
The other days are getting a little loaded up.
I've got March 3rd. If they don't live together, don't live near each other, it's not going to be an issue.
We'll do March 3rd.
Okay.
Set that March 3rd for a pretrial at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
That gets somewhat close to the speedy trial.
We'll wait. Yeah, he's out. We have no hesitation to wait. If you want to put that on the, when you print it out.
We'll find that
Yeah, that's
when
what
those issued a time waiver in the matter.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that'll be reflected in the entry.
we have no objection on the record.
So I presume, Mr. Hill, you have no objection now with the time waiver?
10 o'clock.
No, Your Honor. What's the date we're moving to?
March 3rd.
State of Ohio versus Roger Frizzell, TRD 2549 A and B, TRC 24782 A and C.
All right, State of Ohio versus Roger Frizzell, TRD 2549 A and B, TRC 24782 A and C. Mr. Frizzell is present with his attorney Sean Stratton, and State's represented by matters are set for pretrial.
Should be set for sentencing, Your Honor.
Got it listed as a pretrial on here, but
One page.
maybe there will be.
There's a plea taken back on June 17th of 24.
Okay, I see that now. That was the other, the TRD 25, looks like there hasn't been a case.
What is that?
It's a,
Regular suspension?
DUS and attorney signature violation. Looks like there was some. Yeah, there hasn't been anything done on that. If you'd like to take a look, Mr. Stratton, I've got
No, it's all right.
issue.
Mr. Frizzell was in the What do you want to do? He completed it.
Okay, do we have something?
He brought it to the court last time.
You don't have any reports on it.
Okay, I have it.
Let's get you out. I mean, it's a, right now, it's a, Yeah, but it's a high score, so I'm assuming you want me to recommend treating it as a low score.
Right. Your Honor, let's just schedule this for another sentencing / pretrial.
How far can we go?
Not very far. He's been through treatment at the VA, completed it, and I know that Judge Capper sometimes considers that sufficient for sentencing, so.
Are you available on March 3rd by chance?
Yes, that'll work.
I'm going to set my matters for March 3rd.
We'll get it all done that day. Okay?
All right.
Very sure. Good, bro.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Brittany Kazee, CRB 24489.
This is the State of Ohio versus Brittany Kazee, CRB 24489. Ms. Kazee's present for Attorney Sean Stratton, State represented by Attorney Philip. Matter is set for pretrial.
Yeah, Your Honor, she's been paying a restitution. How much I think? She's got some to pay today, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you,
I also. Then we'll just reset it for another pretrial and allow her to pay some more.
Well, I know it's a sizable amount of restitution that needs to be paid, but I
Yep.
guess I would like to know how much has been paid and how much.
They got,
Maybe approach.
I'm gonna make a field. I wrote the numbers. It says ATCT.
But I have 100 today I'm also paying, so,
There you go.
yeah. I've been trying to do 100 every Friday from here out. That way it come up every week, if that's, okay.
all right. How far out would you guys like to go? If you're talking,
Falls in your court.
I mean, obviously, we want to monitor and make sure that Ms. Kazee is paying every Friday the way that she's indicated she's going to, but by the same token, I don't know that there's any need to come back in 2 weeks. So, let's do March 3rd.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Mr. Hill?
Yes, sir.
And that will give, I mean, we'll be able to tell if there's been a substantial. I'll set that for pretrial at 10 o'clock. And I'll list that Ms. Kazee is indicating she's going to pay 100 per week for that.
All right, thank you.
We'll know where it's at that point.
Okay, thank you. Off the record, could you have your secretary please send me another pay now rebill for you? Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Destiny Pratt, CRB 24520.
This is State of Ohio versus Destiny Pratt, CRB 24520. Ms. Pratt's present with her attorney, Sean Stratton, and State represented by Attorney Philip.
Your Honor, we just need to set this for trial.
How far out do you gentlemen wish to go? Because I can, other than If you're looking February, the only date we have available that would be probably pretty reasonable would be maybe the 24th of February.
That's a bad day.
Okay, move into March.
Yes.
Got March 7th, March 10th, or March 14th.
March 14th would be better, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill?
That's fine, Your Honor.
I'll set this for a trial. Is this a bench trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, set this for a bench trial on March 14th.
State of Ohio versus Tommy Scarberry, TRC 2473, A, B, C, and D.
Oh, shit. Okay.
This is State of Ohio versus Tommy Scarberry, TRC 2473, A, B, C, and D. Mr. Scarberry is present, represented by his attorney Sean Stratton, state representative here. Plan to set for pre-trial.
Pleading to the charge. And then minimum is Your Honor, let's set this for a trial date too. Maybe on the 14th. Double up on them that day.
I'll set this for a bench trial. Good with that, Mr. Hill?
We'll do whatever's required.
All right, set this for a bench trial on March 14th.
It's actually at noon, but if you come early. Okay.
Thank you for the input.
State of Ohio versus William Kaplinger, CRA 24631 and CRB 1152.
State of Ohio versus William Kaplinger, CRA 24631, CRB 1152. This is Mr. Kaplinger is here with his attorney, Mr. Steyer, state represented by Attorney Philip here. This matter is set for pre-trial preliminary hearing. You may. Okay, well, Mr. Kaplinger, this is not a good report. Mr. Steyer, I'll let you
Actually, I
address.
had multiple non-compliant drug screens for November, and they showed on the 26th was December.
Yeah, I was there yesterday and talked to Julie, the doctor, and she told me to come back, give me an appointment to come back 5 days to.
Your Honor, with that in mind, I think we probably need to see him get back on track. I'd like to ask to continue this out again. We can maybe come back in about a month and hope to have a better report. That would probably be.
Mr. Hill?
As long as OVP as well as keep working with him, we're okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no indication here that that's an issue. Yeah.
He hasn't been discharged or anything. We would just like to see him attend all of his appointments, and that would be on a weekly basis.
All right, Mr. Kaplinger, I'll be 100% honest with you. After reading the report and prior to hearing from Mr. Steyer and the state and your treatment provider, I was going to revoke your bond and put you in jail for not doing what you ordered. I presume you don't really want to go to jail, do you?
No.
It's not a good place.
No.
Based upon that, I will continue at this time, but I'm going to caution you, and I'm going to put a note to file. If you miss any of your treatment,
I ain't gonna miss it.
as you're ordered to do, I hear you say that, but I want to make sure it's clear, and I want to make sure it's clear for the record, so that way if something happens, there's no question. If you miss and you don't have a valid medical excuse for that, your bond's likely going to be revoked. Do you understand?
I got it.
Okay. Mr. Steyer, how's your availability February 28th?
Oh, I'm looking at January, sorry. I'm available.
Okay. I will reset this at the defendant's request for February 28th for preliminary hearing and pretrial at 10 a.m.
Yeah, it's
Thank you, Your Honor.
other cases that come up nuts.
State of Ohio versus Tevin Hay, CRB 22-427.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Kevin Hay, CRB 22-427. This is Mr. Steyer's case, except for pretrial today.
Your Honor, this is a little bit unusual situation. You might notice that this was only filed this was filed in June of 2022 on allegation of actions in April of 2022. Well, as it happens, in April of 22, Ms. Hay was actually attending court here pretty regularly on a treatment situation. Wrapped that up between the time that this allegedly happened and the time that it got filed. So with that in mind, and the fact that it probably would have been handled through the prior cases if it had been brought at that time, the state has made an offer that if Ms. Hay does 30 hours of community service, they would dismiss this charge, which we're agreeable to doing that. So what I'm going to ask to do is to set this out in the neighborhood about 4 to 6 weeks to allow her time to get that community service done, and hopefully we can get back in here and get a dismissal.
Let's go out. Why don't we go out just a little bit further than that? And I presume Mr. Steyer, you want to...
No, we'll waive time.
All right. Let's set how's your calendar for March 28th? I think I just asked you about February 28th.
I am free March 28th as well, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll set this for March 28th for pre-trial. Make a note. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Thomas Ward II, CRB 24-719, and CRA 24-259.
All right, this is State of Ohio versus Thomas and Ward. CRB 24-719, CRA 24-259. Mr. Steyer's case set for pretrial. I'll give the parties an opportunity to look at the report before we proceed.
Your Honor, not the best report in the world. However, I do note that that they attempted MAT with Mr. Ward, and there were medical problems with that adverse reaction. So obviously that creates a limitation on what they're able to do with him right at first. I've seen, and again, while this isn't the best report in the world, I'm going to say this, that while he's been in treatment with minute reads, I've seen a marked improvement in Mr. Ward's mental state, demeanor, and everything of that nature. So while this certainly is a bump in the road, I'd like to think that it's just a bump in the road, and we're still on the way to getting Mr. Ward in a better place. So he hasn't, and he's attained employment. So what I'd like to do is set this out maybe a little bit briefer period, 2 or 3 weeks, see where things are, and come back and see what, and kind of see if we've gotten things leveled out a bit.
Mr. Hill?
Yeah, we're willing to allow that with the time waiver.
And of course, we would waive time, Your Honor. So I was thinking just does Friday or Monday matter to you?
Any day.
Okay. I'm just looking at Fridays because we happen to be here on a Friday. The 14th or the 21st are a little bit closer than we've been coming back, but maybe worth doing that if one of those days works.
Are you available the 10th by chance, Mr. Steiner?
I am available the 10th.
Okay. Well, Mr. Ward, I'm not particularly encouraged by the report because it's not a great report, but
yeah, I ended up getting really sick. I ended up in the hospital, but I made up my appointments.
And that is reflected in here. But what I am encouraged by is that it looks like all of your screens have been negative.
Yes.
And which is probably your saving grace here.
Yes.
So I'm going to set this at council's request for February 10th at 10 a.m. And I want to see a much better report.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm encouraged that even your treatment providers said that there's improvements.
Yes, Your Honor, he has improved on some things, that little setback. He was sick, he tried the buprenorphine, it didn't work for him, it threw him into withdrawals. However, he did make up the appointments, but he's still struggling a little bit. But we know that he has it in him to do this. He has done it before.
So that's encouraging.
Yes.
Mr. Ward, I'll give you a little bit of leeway here on the 10th, February 10th, but again, I want to see a much better report.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I want to make sure here,
Hang on one second. Hang on one second.
Rachel Ellis, is Rachel Ellis here?
All right, we'll see you about February 10th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Dustin Martin, CRB 24782.
This is State of Ohio versus Dustin Barton, CRB 24782. Mr. Barton's present here today. Mr. Hill is representing the state. I've got a note here that Mr. Barton, you were going to hire your own attorney.
Yeah, I was going to ask about, can I do the therapy route? Because I know the state was okay with dropping it, and Mr. Capper said that if I did therapy and stuff like that, that he would be open to hearing that as well. I wonder if that was an option still. I'd like to do the therapy route.
Mr. Hill?
We discussed that last time, and we felt that it was an appropriate thing to request, and if he wants to do that, and he's successful, and gets a completion, then we would be able to dismiss the charges with the payment of court costs. And I know also Ms. Stewart is here, she's the alleged victim, and she doesn't want this to go forward at all, but I haven't been able to explain to her yet that really it's the state of Ohio that is pursuing this and not her. We want things to be better in their household. We want them to have a better situation. And so if he wants to do some anger management counseling and whatever other counseling that they maybe would learn is appropriate, and he brings us good reports and he gets through it, then we would be okay with dismissing the charges later on with the payment of court costs. And we just need a time waiver in the meantime.
Okay. Ms. Stewart, I want to hear from you. Do you believe that there's any substance use issues going on?
No.
Okay.
I did, like 3 weeks after he came in front of Capper, they put like an emergency protection order or something in place. I didn't ask for it, it was put in place. I wasn't here in court. But there hasn't been no contact, no nothing, and I would request to have that dropped as well.
Mr. Hill?
We're okay with that, if it hasn't already been. Yeah, we can, we'll remove the protection order.
Okay. At the request of the victim, the state will remove the temporary protection order. And, all right, Mr. Barton, you're going to need to get assessed for anger management services. Now, if you look, turn around the back, Mr. McCann back there with his hand up, he's indicating he's willing to assess you for those things. And you heard what Mr. Hill had indicated. Now, I'm going to talk to you about your rights. You have the right to have your case heard within certain time frames in the state of Ohio. Now, we're set for a trial today, it looks like. You have no attorney. It looks like Ms. Stewart was subpoenaed for that trial. I'm willing to allow you to do the treatment and the like, and the anger management in exchange for dismissal upon payment of court costs if there's no problems, going forward. But that being said, so you have the right to have your case heard within a certain period of time. It's called speedy trial in Ohio, which state has to bring you to trial on this charge within 90 days. Now, there's still plenty of time there, and we're set for trial today. So in order to do, as Mr. Field has indicated today, and you've indicated you wanted to do, you would have to waive your right to speedy trial in this matter. You have a constitutional right to have that heard within that time frame. So, do you feel like you understand my explanation of that?
Yeah, for the therapy route to work, I gotta waive the time, and I talked to him and set it up, and.
Correct. But I need to explain to you what that was and what that meant. And do you agree to waive time? I think I understand that that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Okay. So I'll find that time has been validly waived in this matter by the defendant. It's going to take some time to get you in and get you completed, obviously. So I'm going to set this out a ways. Why don't we come back? It's not 90 days at that point, but come back at the end of April if you're good with that, Mr. Beal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's come back April 28th. And that'll be a pretrial, 10 a.m.
And I need you to sign this down here at the very bottom.
Barton, you'll need to see Mr. McCann. You'll need to see Mr. McCann to start getting everything set up.
All right. And the protection orders dropped and everything? All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you back on April 28th, 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Michael Roberts at the jail, CRA 2552.
This is CRA 2552, State of Ohio versus Michael Roberts. This matter is being called by Roger Smith on the matter of bond.
Yeah, Judge, I spoke to him regarding bond. He believes he can make a $1,500 cash surety bond. I'm going to reach out to Gary Sowers. I think the state's okay with that as long as it's an F5. Is there some type of bond on him?
We're not opposed, Your Honor.
All right, that's the I'll amend the bond to 1,500 cash surety.
Thank you.
However, I am going to add that a stipulation there that Mr. Roberts seek out an AOD assessment.
Sure.
And start treating if there's any recommendations.
Judge, because he indicates he can make bond, we're not confined by the 10-day rule, so I know all those dates I gave you in February are getting kind of booked. I have 7, 10, 14, 21, then March 3rd.
Well, we still have 15 days.
15.
Here, will you do this one?
Work for you, Mr. Smith?
Yes, Judge, that does work.
All right, I'll set this for plenary hearing on February 14th, 10 a.m., and I presume you're waiving time then.
You time is waived, Judge, yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Roberts, the deputy took my number down. Call me when you get out of jail. We'll set up an appointment.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Ashley Shaw, CRB 2532.
Right, this is State of Ohio versus Ashley Shaw, CRB 2532. This is Mr. McDonald's case. We're recalling this potentially on the matter of the TPO. State was seeking some information from the juvenile proceedings or what's happening there. Mr. Fielder.
There is a protection order in place restraining Ms. Shaw from going around her daughter. So I think we can keep this one in place for the time being. It's my understanding that the young lady's case goes back to juvenile court on March the 11th?
March 10th.
March 10th, so we'd want to come back right after that. And hopefully this will start to clarify.
So why don't we do this? Let's set this then for March 14th, presuming Mr. McDonald that your client wishes to waive time.
We have no issue, Your Honor.
Set this for March 14th, 10 o'clock for pretrial. We'll keep the protection order in place for now. However, we can modify that if the juvenile court modifies theirs. Are you representing her there, Mr. McDonald?
I am not, Your Honor.
Any idea who's
I'm representing the daughter in the juvenile court.
Okay. So we will reconvene then on March 14th. Maybe we'll have some clarity as to where that's headed and see where things go then from here.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Moving into some preliminary hearings.
I want you to sign this.
State of Ohio versus Daniel Lucas, CRB 24-735, CRB 24-736, TRC 24-1414, A, B, and C.
State of Ohio versus Dean Lucas, CRB 24-735, CRB 24-736, TRC 24-1414, A, B, and C. Mr. Lucas is present with his attorney, Mr. Smith, and the State Representative Mike Hannaford.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Judge, we are here today on the 24-736 matter, which is a felony count. Speaking with Mr. Hill. No, it's on, it says CRB, but it's on the preliminary docket, so I'm confused as usual.
This is a theft charge. Oh, there's a tampering.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a CRA.
Yeah, okay, it's making sense now, Judge. On the theft charge, I think the state would dismiss the tampering in return for a plea to the theft charge. Be 30 days in the Lawrence County Jail with 27 suspended. There's restitution of $109, whatever fine in court cost, or court costs, whatever fine the court wants, whatever level of probation. And he would like to have a week or so to set up his jail time report by 11 o'clock on a Monday or Friday.
Well, why don't we do this?
Yes.
Mr. Lucas, I'm going to have you drug screen today. I'll give you the opportunity to tell me now if you're going to test positive for anything. If you are, I'm not going to hold that against you as far as the sentencing goes in this matter. I'll give you that opportunity, and it may just, we may end up giving you some, helping you out with some treatment if there is anything there. If there, I'm going to have you tested either way, but if you are telling me you're going to test clean and you go back and you test all over the place, then that may change my opinion. So I'll give you the opportunity to let me know if you're going to test for anything now.
Marijuana.
And that'll be it? Okay. We'll recall this here shortly.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to go ahead and have you screen, and then we'll wrap this case up.
He is concerned here. He says he just smoked marijuana, but I guess things could have fentanyl these days and stuff, but the only thing he knows of is marijuana, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He would be surprised if it's anything else, but given today's nature of the drug business, we'll find out.
I appreciate you letting me know that just in case. We'll have you screened, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
We'll get you over in a second.
State of Ohio versus Christopher Smith, CRA 25-8.
This is case number CRA 25-8, State of Ohio versus Christopher Smith. Mr. Smith is present with his attorney, Mr. Smith, State's represented by Attorney Fulton.
Judge, this is a little bit unusual situation. We were here, I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago. He has a warrant out of Noble County, Indiana. He also had an identity theft at the time. I thought they were both staying here to see what was going to happen. I've been informed by Mr. Hill. He has been taken to the grand jury. There was an indictment returned, so he's got to be in common pleas court. He's not got the summons yet, but it's coming. As far as Noble, Indiana goes, he's reached out to them multiple times. He gave me a contact. I tried to contact them. Just this morning, I get a response. Oh, well, I'm the child support. You got to call the prosecutor. So he's trying to get it taken care of, but if we could have a couple more weeks here, then we will know what's going to happen in common pleas. But he is pretending. I've even tried to help him talk to the Noble County, Indiana authorities.
Okay.
He's not going anywhere.
Let's set this for February 14th. For at 10 a.m.
Just watch your mail, all right? I'll be in touch. I'll see you back there. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Michael Brown, CRA 25-40.
This is State of Ohio versus Michael Brown, CRA 25-40. For Mr. Steyer's case today. I do not see Mr. Brown present.
When I checked last, he hadn't checked in. Make sure that's not changed.
The state's represented by Attorney Craig.
And Michael Brown checked in.
If you report things, because
Yes, just these notes, and this is this morning.
He's not checked in, Your Honor. He did have, he is at, can't remember the name of the place he's at. Give me just 1 second to refresh my memory.
really,
He's contacted the Hills, Texas. Yes, I have just.
He's at Brighter Days.
So you guys can see how it's just nonstop.
I'm going to be here Monday. I won't be here Friday, so even if you wait 7 days for a warrant, Monday will be his only opportunity to get here. But I'd like you to ask that if the state seeks a warrant, to give me an opportunity to try to get him here Monday.
Yes.
we'd like to be heard on that, Your Honor.
There is a,
He's talking to my ex-mom, and the yes, but she can probably. He's going to continue.
Mr. Hill.
Well, Ms. Hill is here, who is the alleged victim in this matter, and she's showing us where Mr. Brown continues to text her even now, knowing that this charge is pending.
Well, I'm seeing it.
And she says that he took pictures of her today, so he's kind of stalking her too, and she's reported these things. So we would ask for the warrant to be issued immediately.
Okay. I'm going to, based upon the information provided to me, I'm going to issue, it's now 12:12 p.m. Mr. Brown was to be here at 10 a.m., and I have some serious concerns about Mr. Brown's alleged behavior. Obviously, I'm not hearing that case, but at least the allegations are concerning, so I'm going to issue a bench warrant immediately for failure to appear. Presumably be back before the court once he's picked up or he shows up voluntarily.
I'll attempt to get him here Monday, but
Thank you, Mr. Steyer.
thank you.
And I don't know whether that's going to, there's going to be further charges brought or not. It's up to the state.
State of Ohio versus Andrew Curry.
The state of Ohio versus Andrew Curry, CRA 23464 A, B, and C, CRB 23463, CRB 23291, CRB 2361, CRB 22351. Mr. Steyer's case says a preliminary hearing. Looks like Mr. Curry has also not appeared.
Mr. Curry did contact me this morning, Your Honor, stating that he is in Tennessee building a house, which I assume is some sort of employment situation. He asked for a continuance for 2 weeks. I told him I would see what I can do. I'm going to ask for that continuance, recognizing there are a number of files here.
Mr. Keel?
I think only one of these is actually an active file, and the rest are on review matters, but I could be incorrect about that.
I'm sorry, step forward, Mr. Lewis. I couldn't hear you.
He did complete our program,
Okay.
so I'm not sure where he's at now, but he completed our program, I believe, last month.
Okay. Last month?
Yes.
So I'm gonna seek a continuance for 2 weeks or to a date convenient to the court, since I'm the one asking for the continuance.
We're not opposed.
Okay. Well, I will grant that. I would probably indicate, Mr. Steyer, you may want to, I'm encouraged, hopefully, that that's employment that he's got down there, because he owes a substantial amount of fines and community service in the old cases, and it doesn't look like he's done or paid any of it. And so, based upon the objection, I will agree to that, but it would likely behoove him to start getting that stuff taken care of in order to get the whole case ultimately resolved.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, let's do February 14th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
State of Ohio versus Jeremiah Gerald, TRC 2594 A and B.
So the State of Ohio versus Jeremiah Gerald, TRC 2594 A and B. Mr. Steyer's case set for pretrial and preliminary hearing.
Your Honor, we have here a improper handling and an OVI. The state has made an offer that in exchange for a plea to the OVI, they would dismiss the improper handling. We discussed sentencing basically being minimal. I want to raise the point, the ticket is not marked as a refusal. However, I think an ALS for refusal was sent in. There was an attempt to provide a sample that was not successful, but I don't think the officers considered that to have been a willful refusal. And for that reason, the state has agreed that they would not object to overriding the ALS suspension with the court's 6-month suspension on the OVI. And I'm going to ask for driving privileges for work and community service and to go to the 3-day program. He is employed full-time. This is alleged to have happened on the 17th of January. So if I'm correct, Monday would be the first day he'd be eligible for privileges. But since we're here today, I'm going to ask that an entry be entered granting privileges as of Monday. And that the suspension date back to the date of the incident due to the ALS suspension.
Mr. Gibb?
And all of that sounds correct. One additional thing is because there was the improper handling of the weapon, we would ask for forfeiture.
We don't object to that. And I think the weapon is described in the complaint.
What plea did the client respond?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Carroll?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
And that would be pleading, a guilty plea to the TRC 2594, that's the A and the B charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And state making a motion on the CRA 2539 case?
We would dismiss that charge upon forfeiture of the weapon, and it is, the serial number is in the affidavit.
All right. We'll start with the B case. It will be Molly on forfeiture of the firearm, and that firearm is a Mr. Field, I'm not seeing it here.
It's in the affidavit. On the improper handling charge.
The Glock 48 9mm serial number CBB E as an egg $280 be forfeited. And that matter will be dismissed. Mr. Hill, it looks like on the ticket, the B case on the TRC case is an improper handling, so it looks like you guys filed two improper handlings.
It was filed as a misdemeanor initially on the ticket, and then the state filed a felony, so I think that probably needs to be just, because it is the same allegation.
And we'll dismiss both of them.
I'll let you catch up. Let's put that in. No, that's going to be just the dismissal on that. And let's put forfeited for destruction. I guess technically be not guilty.
Yeah.
Let's go to the B case there. That's just going to be dismissed. All ready for the A. All right, on the OBI, I'm going to order 20 days in jail, all suspended, to the 3-day VIP school. A $375 fine. I'll order you to pay the court costs. It'll be 30 hours of community service. One year, or 2 years level 4 probation. I will order the ALS suspension to be rescinded. There'll be a 6-month driver's license suspension dating back to January 17th of 2025. I have no problem with the limited driving privileges. Mr. Schreier, if you'll present an entry on that. He'd requested privileges.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm making those at this point or if Clarissa's making them now, but I'll get one figured out either way.
Okay. Yeah, I've got no problem signing it so long as I'm presenting an entry
Right.
For that.
Is there a review hearing day, Your Honor?
Yes, and that's August 1st.
If you don't have everything done by that day, you gotta come in that day and explain to the judge why you haven't gotten it done.
So it'll be August 1st, 9 a.m. for review. Mr. Gerald, you're going to need to see probation before you go, and you'll likely want to get a copy of your driving privileges. I'll have no problem running them once Mr. Schreier can get me an entry, and defer to him in the event that he says, well, it's going to take a little longer, and I'll send it to you however he wishes to proceed with that. But once I'm presented with it, I am granted.
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Way out here to the just way out there. Thank you.
felony was the destruction of a firearm. And the other, they had originally filed it as a misdemeanor and then upgraded it to the felony.
Okay, so I need to outright knowledge the
The
B
B
case.
Yes.
I need just a second to reverse that because I did it with the opposite.
Well, I guess it really, that's fine either way.
You think it doesn't matter?
No,
Won't
that-
matter.
that-
As long as there's destruction in one, that'll.
It is.
Okay, then yeah,
Okay.
either way's fine.
Rolling out the other.
I assume Mr. Hill doesn't have a problem with the firearm being destroyed in the B case versus the felony out there, or probably either way.
As long as it's destroyed. And I don't really take a position on destruction or not destruction, but
I think that's the court's typical, is for destruction, so.
State of Ohio versus Melissa Carter, CRA 24-634.
And Your Honor, Ms. Ketter's appearing by video. She lives in, I think, Logan County, West Virginia, and so she appears by video.
Ms. Ketter, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
State of Ohio versus Ms. Ketter, CRA 24-634. Mr. Steyer's case. Well, that's a good report.
She's doing very well in treatment. She is. I think they just had some concerns about her living situation, but that's a choice she makes, I guess, you know,
No.
there's.
And
I'm getting my power turned on like in 3 days.
Okay, good.
that's good.
So, yeah.
All right. Mr. Steyer, where are we headed from here?
Your Honor, this is one that we've been continuing to allow Ms. Ketter to get treatment. She's doing well. I don't know what the state's position is on how long we want to keep this one going. We're obviously with felony charge willing to go as long as we need to, but we don't want to necessarily stretch it out longer than we have to just for issues of judicial economy.
Whatever it takes.
Mr. Young?
And she has been compliant with her treatment since she started out at Logan OVP.
all right, so she's still in the program.
Yes.
right? So we want her to finish the program.
Is this a program that has like a,
No, she's an outpatient, Your Honor, so that can continue forever. I mean, they can state that she has progressed to a certain extent, but then she can continue to go or,
it's not necessarily the sort of thing we want to put an end date on, honestly. But at the same time, again, like I said, we've been going for about 4 months at this point.
Regardless of when they say I will continue my treatment after they say to dismiss me anyways. I can go for as long as they want.
Come back.
Okay. Mr. Hill, how far out would you like to go?
Well, maybe a little bit longer than we have previously. I don't get asked this question very often. A couple months, I guess.
Well, I think I set something for you, Mr. Steyer, I believe on March 28th.
We did say something on March 28th. That would be a good chance to come back on this, I believe, Your Honor.
And potentially at that point, maybe it can be wrapped up.
And-
About 6 months, about the 6-month mark.
Don't think the court should have a problem. I just want to formally request that so long as the reports are positive, that she be allowed to continue to appear by video.
Yeah.
I have no issue with that, Mr. Hill.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
You got no issue
I
with
appreciate
that? You can appear via Zoom for the next hearing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We'll see you back March 28th at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Very well.
State of Ohio versus Adam Salone, CRA 24-800 A and B.
State of Ohio versus Adam Sloan, CRA 24800 A and B. Mr. Stiers' case, set as a preliminary hearing. Mr. Hill is representing the State of Ohio.
Your Honor, this is one that we've set out for treatment where
Amended reads.
he's amended Reed's. Is amended Reed's still here? Amended Reed's is left. Your Honor, I actually had him speak this morning to Ms. Dalrymple regarding QRT. There's a little bit of a discrepancy between what is charged in the court and what is on the, I can't think of the word for it, but the criminal history. In terms of this particular situation, it's not something in his past. It's the way this appears on the criminal history is different than what's charged in the court. Do it in a way that would disqualify him from QRT when Ms. Dalrymple would otherwise be willing to take him. So what I'd like to do is maybe come back in about 2 weeks so that we can figure that situation out, see if he qualifies for QRT, and maybe get a report from Minute Reads.
Mr. Hill?
And we would waive time constraints.
All right, I'll set this for February 14th at 10 a.m. Mr. Sloan, regardless of whether or not Minute Reads has done it or not, you need to get a report and have it here that day. They sometimes bring them, but as you can see, if they're not here, that doesn't really do us a lot of good. So
She was here earlier.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make it incumbent upon you to get a report prior to coming back to court.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll follow up on that issue.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you back February 14th.
Thank you.
What time?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
State of Ohio versus William Baker, CRB 24332.
This is State of Ohio versus William Baker, CRB 24332. Yeah. Stratton's case set for a preliminary hearing sentencing.
Yeah, I checked it out earlier.
Megan was asking me about this and I told her to just
Good. Are you?
Overall, good report.
Good report. We continue on, Your Honor. Set it for maybe sometime in March.
Do March the 7th, if you're here.
Yeah, that's fine. March 7th. Thank you, sir. Hey, good luck on that trip.
Thank you.
Sentencing at 10 a.m.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus David Vance, TRC 241921 A, B, C, and D, and CRB 24597.
The State of Ohio versus David A. Vance, PRC 241921 A, B, C, and D, and CRB 24597. Mr. Smith's case, it's set for a motion here.
It is, Judge. I have been able to speak with Mr. Hill and my client. We have a proposed resolution, which would be 60 days in the Lawrence County Jail to plead to the OVI and endangering children, with 50 days being suspended. He recently broke his wrist when we had the ice storm. He's still having it worked on, and we'd like to have like 10 to 14 days to report here to go to the jail. If we could have a couple Fridays, he should have his appointments completed. And based upon that, we would not be pursuing the motion to suppress at this time.
Mr. Hill.
And that's correct, Your Honor. It's an OVI, but then there's also the endangering. So I guess we're not opposed to having a report date in the future at some point, but I guess we prefer to go ahead and have sentencing today.
We can do that, Judge, if we just delay the, I don't think the jail wants him with a broken wrist.
All right, let's start with the ODI. So say, first offense. Or second.
It is.
All right. Okay. On the A case, is that correct, Mr. Lance? You intend to enter
Yes.
a guilty plea
Yes, sir.
of all the charges?
Yes.
Accept your guilty plea, I'll enter a guilty finding. On the ODI, it'll be 60 days in Lawrence County Jail. I'll suspend 50 of those. There will be a $375 fine. I'll order you to pay the court costs. Be 30 hours of community service. 2 years of level 4 probation. There'll be no DIP school in this because we're serving jail time. There'll be did you guys discuss license suspension?
We did not, Judge. I assume the minimum, but we did not discuss it.
We're okay with a 6-month driver's license suspension.
Be a 6-month driver's license suspension. It'll date back to September 12th, 2024.
Actually, it would be today, there was a urine.
It was a urine?
Yes.
Okay, it'll be then starting today.
It was,
with a 6-month
yes.
suspension.
Starting today.
Starting today. Okay. On the B case, it'll be a $30 fine. On the C case, it would be a $20 fine. Is that the, oh, that's the D case right there? Okay. Be a $150 fine in the D case. And that would be concurrent with the A case. And then on the D to B. And then we'll be on the CRB 24597. And on that, it'll be 60 days in Lawrence County Jail, suspend 50. be a $50 fine and court costs on that. And that's to run concurrent with the A case in TRC 241921. So that it's clear that there's one sentence of 60 days in jail and suspend 50, so you'll have to do 10 days in jail. And I'll give you a report date.
We could do the 14th or 17th, Judge. I give him a couple weeks. He's got a couple more appointments coming up.
Well, let's do the 14th because the 17th is a holiday. So, February 14th at 10 a.m. you'll need to report here to the courthouse to be transported for your sentence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much.
State of Ohio to recall Daniel Lucas on a recall for a urine dispensing.
This is State of Ohio versus Daniel Lucas, CRB 24/7/35, CRB 24/7/36, TNC 23/14, A and C. Well,
Marijuana and alcohol, so
the little issue, I think, with taking the plea potentially today, because alcohol would be a little more problematic there.
It was 3 days ago. I had a couple of beers with a friend.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to buy that, Mr. Lucas, quite frankly. I'm not going to hold it against you at this point, but I don't know that I'd buy that because alcohol wouldn't stay in your system that long. So why don't we do this? Let's reset this.
sure.
And we can reset it fairly quickly. Mr. Smith, are you here Monday?
Monday is, what is Monday?
Third.
No, I'm here the 7th and 10th.
Let's set it for the 10th then.
Okay. The 10th. Sure.
10 o'clock. Now, Mr. Lucas, we're going to have you test again.
Yes, sir.
And now the THC can stay in your system for up to 30 days. I'm less concerned
Yes, sir.
there. But with it being alcohol, typically alcohol is out within 24 hours. And quite frankly, if you're under the influence, potentially, and it seems that you may be, at least in some level, I can't take a knowing voluntary plea from you on anything. So I'm not going to take any action as far as your bond goes at this point, but we're going to screen you again on the 10th, and I've got a note in there that you need to be clear of alcohol. If you're not at that point, then your bond may end up getting revoked, and that may change how your case is ultimately sentenced.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate
We'll
it.
see you back February 10th.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
No alcohol.
No.
See you then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Brittany Smith on a urine screen. Roger.
All right, this is case number CRB 24171, State of Ohio versus Brittany Smith. We have recalled this from earlier. This matter was set for a review this morning. Ms. Smith, I believe, had some car trouble, but we were told that she would likely be here, so we recalled it later in the docket. Ms. Smith, I will get over the hearing screen. Ms. Smith was negative for all substances, which is great news. Ms. Smith, it looks like you have 24 hours of community service to do. And you still owe $250. Looks like you've done some community service since the last hearing. So I am going to set you out for review. March 3rd.
March when?
3rd.
3rd, okay.
At 9 a.m.
Okay. I'm good to go. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day. That's okay.
State of Ohio versus Michael Wood, PRC 43436, A, B, and C. He was on from the report to jail, Your Honor, and he did report.
Okay. This is State of Ohio versus Michael J. Wood, PRC 24436, A, B, and C. Mr. Wood has reported for probation for his jail sentence today. And so we've already got a review hearing set in this matter for March 3rd. So this matter is to be passed at this time as reported. Court's adjourned.
That's like the second, third time in a row.